What the fuck is up, people? It's Bread and Circuses. It's your boy, Caleb Salvatore.
And also your boy, Nick Kohler.
We're remoting in because it's been a really weird week for us.
We filmed an episode and we didn't film it right, so we basically wasted an hour. And,
here's what happened. Here's what happened. We wasted an hour of our time. It was like midnight. I was tired as fuck. We remoted in again because we didn't have time. And I forgot to pull Nick into session. So I got the recording and I'm like, why is this 45 minutes of me talking to nobody?
Honestly, it would have been kind of cool to upload just as like a descent into madness type deal.
I mean, I still have it.
Maybe we'll put it up on YouTube or something just as like a bonus thing, because that's really what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll put that up on April Fool's Day. Is just like that's our stream for the day. That's our stream for the week.
That's a good idea. So we will be back to 2 episodes a week next week. So that's not anything new. It's not like we're fucking with you.
We're not lazy. We're just worse. We're fucking retarded. So
yeah, that's worse. Arguably worse.
Yeah.
How's your weekend been?
Pretty good, man. Been busy doing dumb shit, but yeah.
Same, dude. I did that show for that Alcoholics Anonymous convention.
How'd it go?
I did not think that so I wasn't sure what to expect because usually crowds I perform in front of are drunk or high or both.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what to expect. So I walk in there. Excuse me. And I'm looking around at these people. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they are not ready for what they're about to hear right now. And I am fucking nervous. I'm like, oh boy. And I don't get nervous before shows. I'm past that. But I'm like, oh,
that's
boy,
good.
These people are going to run me out of the fucking gym.
That's a good milestone to be at, though. They're just like not have any like pre-show anxiety or anything like that.
Definitely. This was an exception, though, because this is not my typical demographic, but they loved me. I did pretty well. I had an OJ joke that they did not get. I don't know why, but
maybe they don't use Twitter, maybe.
No, it wasn't even about his Twitter. It was about his murder case. So, I don't know. But everything else landed pretty well.
They were too drunk to remember the OJ thing in the 90s, man.
It might be, honestly. Yeah, so.
They were too busy drinking. Didn't have time to follow the OJ trial.
It could be. Shit. Speaking of shit that's in the news, this is like kind of getting looked over, and it's not really been a huge story, but I think it's about to blow up. Do you know who Demi Bagby is?
Mm-mm.
So she is like this 18-year-old Instagram fitness model or whatever.
So and somebody who just has an account on fucking Instagram, pretty much.
And as a thought, yeah. So
has like 9,000 followers or something.
No, she's got a couple million, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So she is like the spokesperson for GymShark. You know what GymShark is? It's a fairly big like athletic company, like athletic apparel company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's come out in the last couple months, and I had heard about the story, and I was just kind of following it because it was only on there were just rumblings about it on Twitter and like smaller forums and shit.
Yeah.
So it came out that she was using Tinder when she was like 16, 17, or not 17, it's like 16, 15, lying about her age, saying she was 18, and using it to hook up with Marines, then blackmailing them or falsely accusing them of rape and ruining their career, getting them thrown out of the Marine Corps.
Hell yeah, dude.
GymShark went to cover this shit up. And that's where the controversy is, because if this were a male athlete that were doing something like this, he would have been gone.
I don't think a male athlete could really get away with that. That's like a female only crime. Like maybe a male guy a male guy could get away with doing that with maybe like with fucking dudes or something, like, you know, doing gay stuff, but no.
So I guess in the matter of like sexual infidelity, the closest thing I could think of would be like how Tiger Woods basically had his whole life destroyed because he had an affair.
I don't know if that's necessarily the same though, because like, yeah, Tiger Woods is a scumbag, but I mean,
I know, but that's the point. Is it's like it's such a double standard. Tiger Woods, I mean, it's a private matter. yeah, it's a shitty thing to do. He's a scumbag for it. We get it, but he didn't fuck anyone, like ruin anyone's career.
I think the problem with it though is that it was with minors, and like I said, I don't think a guy can get away with it, or guy can really do the same thing unless it's with other dudes, because like, dude, you know, that's like a guy only crime. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I just think it's like, and now GymShark's finally like, yeah, we're investigating this, blah blah blah. But yeah, she. So I don't know. It's just something that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. So I just thought I'd bring it up.
Be careful out there, military dudes, when you go after teenage girls.
They're always lying about their age. You know, of course she's punking the Marines, though.
The Marines are all fucking dumb enough to fall for it, dude. They're like, they like fucking see her ID when they're like bringing her on base. It was like, hey, I can't do math to figure out that you're 16. Oh,
she gets dropped off by her mom.
Yeah. They're like, well, she told me she was 18.
She was 18, bro. Well, that was like you seen the Dave Chappelle? Oh no, you haven't, about the R. Kelly thing.
Yeah.
So like R. Kelly, when he was in court, they fucking So when R. Kelly was in court, the prosecution brought forward this sex tape of him with like a 14-year-old girl or whatever.
Hell yeah. And I know about that.
Yeah, her age. They didn't show it. They like read the transcript. And her age was brought up 16 times throughout the course of the sex tape.
Mm-hmm.
She kept going, is this the best 14-year-old pussy you've ever had? Yeah, it's the best 14-year-old pussy I've ever had. And that's what Dave Chappelle's like, no, you need to stop and go, no, this is the best 36-year-old pussy I've ever had.
That's funny, dude.
That should make me laugh, but I don't know. What else is up with you, man? You got to start coming to more open mics.
I know. I've been just busy doing other stuff. I started like I don't know. I feel like I'm taking on too many projects. It feels like.
Oh, I feel that.
The Thursday things over at Patty's, I want to start doing some more. But Thursday nights, I've started doing this thing in Omaha where I bring people together at the comic shop by my place, and we basically like free form just come up with off the cuff like a D&D adventure. So that's really cool. I've noticed like definitely the kind of people that have come to it are like pretty much the kind of people you'd expect to play D&D, minus like two of the dudes that went. But
are there women that go? I've always been interested if women play that.
Yeah, there was some chicks playing, or some girls that went there. Yeah.
Okay.
One of them was there was actually three of them, and they were all really cool actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. The one girl that was there had like never played it, and actually so the D&D is kind of getting really big deal anymore, or it's getting more popular. And I think because all the like 90s like soccer moms that were like saying that it caused school shootings and stuff have like either died off or just like don't know how to use the internet anymore.
They died from alcohol poisoning from all the wine they're drinking while being holier than thou.
Probably, man. Like seriously, the 90s, you want to talk about like hysteria now? Like the 90s was fucking hysteric with like people thinking that a fucking game you played with pencils, paper, and dice was causing people to shoot up schools, man. Like
now they've evolved to actual video games.
Yeah, this was before the time of video games. So like everything, moms always have to fucking place a scapegoat on something, right? So it's been a while from that. Seriously, that set the game back by like 20 years. So now the only people that play it are like, dude, you gotta have some nuts to like openly say you play Dungeons and Dragons, because people still give you fucking weird looks for talking about it.
That's the thing, is it's always been a good gauge of whether I'll like something or not, because if mothers are against it, because you always see those activist groups, there's like mothers against firearms, mothers against marijuana, mothers against hard rock. I'm like, all those things are fucking amazing. So if mothers are against it, I should probably go try it out.
There was literally a Moms Against Dungeons and Dragons group in the 90s, man. I wrote like a paper about it in college about how like it was like a paper, like a thesis paper, but you didn't really like do a whole. It was like an informal research paper almost. Like you didn't have to cite any sources or like do any actual research, but you did research and basically formed an idea and defended it without like having to...
Oh, those are my favorite because I don't have to cite my sources.
Yeah, you did. I didn't have to cite any sources, which is cool. And I basically wrote a paper about like why I think Dungeons and Dragons is becoming more popular now. Like you've got all these like famous actors coming out and say like, "Oh yeah, I love that game. I play it all the time." You got like Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, yeah, Vin Diesel. Stephen Colbert plays it all the time. Like Stephen Colbert, like talks about it in interviews and stuff.
Stephen Colbert, I believe.
Yeah. There were some other people. I think Chris Pratt says he plays it too.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, man. It's cool. Like I've been playing this game forever, and like I can remember being in like early days of being in the military, right? And I would tell people like, hey, you should, it's like I had a group of friends that like didn't know anything about it. And one dude made a joke about it. Right. And I looked at him and was like, was that a D&D joke? And he's like, yeah. And have you ever played it? And he's like, nah. I'm like, you want to? Like, I got the books at home. So I went home on leave and like brought the books back and we started playing and everybody got fucking super into it, man. Like, and these were some of these, like a couple of them were like dudes that you'd expect to play D&D, but a couple of the other ones were like dudes like you wouldn't fucking expect them to, like cowboy dudes and stuff, right? So they had a blast with it. They fucking loved it, man. And I would get so much shit from all the other dudes in my platoon and even my whole company of like, you know, like 200 people. Even my company commander, you know, like super professional captain type guy, would even be giving safety briefs to the whole company and be like, hey, you know, telling people like what not to do on the weekends so they don't go and like beat their wives or whatever. And they'd be like, you guys can, instead of going out and doing drugs and getting drunk, you guys can go into the company or you can stay in the barracks and play D&D with Kohler. And like everybody fucking point and laugh at me. And I'd just be like, haha, yeah, fucking you could, I guess. So it was like a joke.
I've never played it or even been invited to play it. How does it work?
It's, oh man, hell yeah! This is turned into D&D podcast. Fuck yeah!
We're gonna change topic in a few because other people are gonna tune out.
No, you know what? They might not, dude. There's a lot of closet fucking nerds out there, man. And I always tell people,
I honestly haven't. Yeah,
I always tell people if you've played fucking Skyrim on your Xbox 360 like everybody did when they were younger, you would like playing the game. It's basically all like,
I never played Skyrim.
Well, a lot of like video game mechanics and stuff in video games come from Dungeons and Dragons from like the 80s and 90s. Okay. And basically the whole premise to the game is you create a character completely from imagination. You have like a piece of paper that's all his like stats and everything and like your whole character, and you're not playing as Caleb Salvatore, you're playing as Dirk the fucking barbarian, right? So like with how you play the game is how your character plays, so hence role playing, right? And you just go and you do an adventure. You go and imagine like and all the like attacks and like jumping over a fucking cliff or like swimming and you know getting hit by a explosion or something is all handled with dice. So it's all, there's a lot of randomness to it and like, you know, coming up with stuff just out of nowhere and talking, you know what? It's actually more social than video games. So when I hear people just like making fun of me about it, cause I get that sometimes, not so much anymore, but I used to, I'd be like, dude, it's like, it's more social and hanging out with people than playing video games. You're literally sitting around a table and like playing with people. So
wait, I think Zach's about to hop in.
Zach wants to hop in? Hell yeah,
he just messaged me. You want me in? I can carry the show. Okay, cocky bastard. Get your fucking ass on here and talk to us.
Surprise guest.
All right, hop on, bitch.
Hell yeah. So we're going to get Zach in, but...
Supposedly, I don't know. He just messaged me, so I don't know, on Facebook, so I don't know.
I know Zach likes to play, and...
So his question, so I've always been confused. Is that the same as LARPing?
No. LARPing is where you like dress up like a Roman legionary and go and fucking act like you're a Roman legionary in a big field.
like extra version.
LARPing is like the same. LARPing is like a whole nother level, man. LARPing is like live action role play. Is like people going and doing Civil War reenactments,
like the Civil War reenactor guys. Okay,
yeah, that's LARPing. And
okay.
Some people actually like that shit. I mean, like it's kind of I've never done it before, but like it could be kind of cool to go reenact this, like the Battle of fucking Sharpsburg or some shit, like as a Civil War. That'd be kind of cool. What's that?
Sharpsburg a real thing?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big Civil War.
Isn't it?
I'm not a Civil War expert, but that sounds like a battle in the Civil War, right?
The Civil War, the Revolution always interested me more than the Civil War because it was always like the Civil War was just hella covered in like elementary school, middle school history classes, and then it never got past that. Yeah, so I don't know because I went to Millard, so I don't know how your district did it, but like
I did at Millard too for my younger schools. So yeah.
Oh, but
they didn't really actually cover the actual war. It felt more like they covered more of like the events leading up to the war, like slavery and like the state seceding and everything. But the actual actual war itself was pretty interesting because like the Confederates in the really early days of the war came like they were outside DC and just kicked the Union's ass and were like they were gonna march on like the White House. But then they decided not to because they thought, oh, this is going to send enough message for them to not mess with us, I guess.
Right.
And it didn't.
Well, that was the one that always interested me was William Tecumseh Sherman.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Where he burned the South to the ground. Mm-hmm. He should have finished the job.
So
the SEC would be the powerhouse that it is.
Well, he burned it, the city of Atlanta, like completely destroyed it. He started,
and then Bill Belichick actually finished the job.
He started this thing called Total War, where he just like he was just fucking everything up as he was going, and actually a lot of people in the South like really like still, I guess. Probably not anymore. I don't know if there's anybody alive that fought in the Civil War, but like 100 years ago,
no
maybe
it was in like the 1860s.
Yeah.
So like even if you were like 16 and got conscripted at a young age, like you're still talking. The dude would be like 170 years old.
I know. I'm like trying to do math in my head. Like, dude.
No, I'm not a history major, but I can promise you there's no one from the Civil War.
Probably not. There might be like there might be like some sea turtles still alive that like
maybe
around in the Civil War era.
I think the last World War I vet just died off not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah,
that was 100 years ago. It was more than 100 years ago. I think the World War I ended in 1918. If I'm not, I don't know. I don't know the dates very well, but can you imagine that, man? Like being the last World War I veteran to die. It's just like
I'm the last man standing.
Yeah, he's just looking around like literally nobody knows anymore. I'm the last one.
World War I kind of just gets looked over
a little bit, which it shouldn't. Like it's probably one of the World War I and II. Like you can almost say that World War II is a continuity of World War I, and like
it definitely was because part of the agreements post World War I for the Germans were that they had to cut back the size of their military, and Hitler actually enjoyed having a career in the military, and a lot of people that were close to him said he probably would have done that for the rest of his life. But since they cut back their military per the agreement, that actually is indirectly what caused Hitler to come to power.
There's a lot of things that did it, but that was one of the things that like Germany really didn't like. Because like honestly, Germany really didn't start World War I. Like World War I was started over Austria.
That's weird.
Yeah, and like that was something that like the Germans, not Hitler, but the Germans like actually had a point on where like they were getting fucking like having to pay all this money for World War I, and like not Austria didn't have to, like Turkey didn't get fucked as much as Germany, like or any of the other like empire, like the guys on Germany's side, they didn't really have to pay as much as Germany, and the war was started because an Austrian like duke like king, like an Austrian king, got killed by partisans over in like Eastern Europe. And that's what like started the whole war. Like that was like the spark. Like everybody was ready to go to war, but that was the spark. It'd be like the equivalent of like it'd be kind of like if like I don't know, the Secretary of State right now. Who's the Secretary of State right now? I'm trying to think.
Pompeo? No, he got fired.
Yeah, whoever it is now. It'd be like if
I want to know.
Or no shit, it'd be like if like Nancy Pelosi, like a fucking really high ranking, like
we'd all celebrate.
No, not everybody would celebrate, but it'd be like if a really high person in our Senate or something like that, or somebody in the cabinet went over to like fucking I don't know, Poland or something like that, or maybe
like
a country. Yeah. Pompeo went to like a country that's like went to Syria or something, or like Iran, or some country that's like against us, allies with Russia, and like some partisans there, some people that aren't even the military, killed them, right? And then American media blamed Russia over those partisans killing Pompeo.
Right.
That would start World War III. You're like right there.
Shit.
Or no, too. It was not even with America, because it was Austria, right? So it'd be like if like England had one of their people in their parliament go to like Syria and got killed by like the Peshmerga there or some shit, and it got blamed on Russia. You know what I mean? Or it got blamed on Syria and then Russia, and then it just unfolded. So that'd be kind of like what modern. It'd be like so, and like World War I and II are like the most significant events in human history, probably.
Right.
So,
speaking of that shit, are you seeing how Mexico's been boogalooing?
It's not even boogaloo, because it's the fucking cartels, man. I told you the cartels run Mexico.
Yeah,
and this is evidence. Like the government isn't there.
Could you imagine like what's like a controversial case, like someone that got arrested? Like let's say like. Because there were like riots when OJ got arrested. That's probably the best comparison I can think of. So OJ, let's say like
maybe
who else have people rioted for when they got arrested?
I don't know. Athlete.
But yeah, so just for the sake of this, let's say OJ, when OJ was arrested and the riots happened, LAPD released OJ for fucking the safety of the public. That would be the equivalent. Like, yeah, we're just gonna back down.
Not even riots, man. They straight up were like taking over the cities. Like they had military. Yeah. They had not even just machine guns. They had like the big 50 cal machine guns and like anti-tank rockets.
Zach just let me pull him up here. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. Here he comes.
Hey,
hey,
Zach. How's it going? What are we talking about?
We were talking about World War I, and now we're talking about Mexico. Kind of led into that.
Boogaloo.
He keeps calling it the fucking Boogaloo. It wasn't the people of Mexico. It was the cartels. It wasn't the general population that just rioted. It was the cartels that were attacking the cities. It's different. It'd be like if the fucking Bloods here and fucking the Bloods here in America started like attacking U.S. cities because a Blood got fucking captured.
Dude, I watched this, or I read this fucking I think it was like the UK Telegraph. It was talking about how the like these female hitmen, or I guess hit women in the cartels, and this chick is fucking demented. They like interviewed her from her prison cell. She'd been arrested in California, and she was talking about she would like kill people. Like she'd go out and then she'd have sex with their corpses because it would turn her on.
Right.
Doesn't matter, had sex.
I would encourage you guys, go read up. So like the cartels it's not just one cartel. No. There's like a bunch of really powerful ones. The ones that El Chapo run was called the Sinaloan cartels, right? From Sinaloa. Right. That's like the region or whatever that he's from. One of the reasons why, like, there's some other cartels, and like a lot of them have links to like Mexican gangs here in like the U.S. and like the border country or states. But They were like really powerful, man. Like bought weapons from the fucking CIA, probably. I don't know. Who knows? They just stole them from the Mexican government. I don't know, dude.
Can I tell an embarrassing story about Mexican drug cartels?
Let's do it.
An embarrassing story. Uh-oh.
So when I was a teenager, let's say about I was like 18. This was at my first apartment.
Oh, he's gonna tell a Civil War story over here, Caleb. Be careful, man. We were just talking
back
about
in time.
So when I was a younger man, there was this girl that was hanging out with my friends group who was talking about how well connected her dad was with the Mexican drug cartels.
Damn, dude. That was here in Omaha?
No, it's Fremont.
Oh, God, yeah.
So me at the time was like, you're fucking dumb. There's no such thing as a Mexican drug cartel. The cartels are from Colombia, you dumbass. This is why Raptor shouldn't talk about shit he doesn't know anything about.
That was when Zach was beheaded.
No, but I bet we haven't heard from that girl anymore.
So the thing is, I say it really sassy now, but at the time, I would have been a lot more polite about it because I'm actually a polite person in person.
Right.
But
yes,
it was one of those things I wish I could go back and take back when I said something stupid.
I wouldn't go back in time and like kill Hitler. I wouldn't go back in time and like, try to stop 9/11. I would go back in time and stop myself from saying that.
Look, I'll never think about Hitler. Like, without Hitler, how powerful does the Soviet Union become? And they were worse.
It's true.
That war broke Germany and Russia, and it took Russia a few years to catch back up. And by then, we were strong enough to oppose them.
Yeah, because we finally got rid of fucking FDR.
Well, I don't know, man. That was a really large percentage of the population that like of the world that got like erased forever. Like, I'm sure. I'm sure they would have collapsed eventually. I mean.
I'm just saying, like, I think Russia would have done a lot more damage than Germany and Russia together did in the 20th century without Germany existing or without Adolf Hitler coming to power and almost taking over Europe.
I don't think Hitler becoming to power necessarily would have stopped Russia and Germany from going to war with each other because they fucking hated each other.
Right, but without Hitler coming to power and beefing up Germany, that would have been a walkover.
Yeah, I think
Russia would have taken over all of Europe, including probably Britain, and it would have been a much different scenario.
I think the scenario probably would have ended up being that, they would have just attacked Germany, but then like the UK and France and America would have just been fighting Russia, probably.
That would be like a fun alternative history movie. Actually.
Fun alternative. Yeah, that would actually, or maybe like
power.
Maybe like strategic. That I could see that being like a strategic like scenario and like a fucking Risk type game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Hearts of Iron.
I feel like that would be more of a video game storyline.
Yeah. They have like what's that one game? It was called like Homefront or whatever, where Korea invaded the U.S.
Yeah, that was some bullshit ass alternate history thing, dude.
That game was terrible.
Isn't that the premise of the second time they made Red Dawn? It was North Korea.
Yeah, Red Dawn 2, it's North Korea.
Yeah.
It's like, motherfucker, that was somewhat believable when it was Russia as the bad guy, but North Korea, come on.
North Korea at the time.
That Red Dawn movie, the initial plot was supposed to be China invading, but they like changed it from China to North Korea so they didn't unsettle current like negotiations between the U.S. and China. So in other words, what I'm saying is LeBron James directed that movie.
Yeah, North Korea
produced it.
North Korea at the time has like enough like food to sustain an invasion for like 3 months, dude.
Yeah.
Like That's probably the thing about the home front too. They probably like animated it and everything to be all Chinese, and then they were like, "No, we don't want to lose Xi Jinping money." So
let's make these guys look like just a little bit different and put Korean symbols on.
We'll just put different uniforms on them.
We redo the animation. We know all Asians look the fucking same. So like,
you just got to change the uniforms to red and blue stars.
So realistically, I think you could make a kick-ass game where China is the bad guy, except it's region locked. So when you're in China, China's the good guy, and you're invading America for like good reasons. And then there's like this massive multiplayer shit that's like the world around, and the region that you're playing from is the side that you're on, and that would be really fun multiplayer.
That's the whole reason why America maintains such a like strong alliance with South Korea, because them as an ally gives them
they would be our allies in the video game.
No, so it gives us a means to like roll tanks into China without having to do an amphibious assault.
Huh.
So
I didn't think of that.
Oh, I mean, look, South Korea exists so that we can keep an eye on that region.
Exactly.
Like our presence there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there another country that has such a troop density? Like, I know we have a lot of troops in Germany, but our troop density in South Korea is fucking insane.
Yeah, they don't keep units in South Korea anymore. They do like rotational deals. But
they still do.
Oh, Caleb left.
Fuck Caleb. He can get back in. It's fine.
Yeah, but oh man, we'll keep talking about this, and like Caleb's gonna come in and be like, "Whoa, what happened?" But they do keep a shit ton of units over there in Korea, though, man. And like, you went over to Korea, didn't you?
My unit was coming back from Korea when I got there.
Okay. They dudes that were like stationed over there like as a duty station in the army told me that like the whole reason they had a brigade of 2nd Infantry Division there, so like I don't know, what would you say brigade is, like 2,000 troops maybe?
I can't say, because Patriot is so weird with the way they set up their units.
Mm-hmm.
Like a battery's about 90.
I'd say
so. If there's 6 batteries per battalion, and then 4 battalions per brigade, and that's like a stretch because my brigade only had 2.
And that's like a brigade attachment too. So like a company's probably like, I don't know, 220 men. Like, because they were armored there, there's probably like 220 men like at max strength, and then a battalion has like 6 companies. So that's like that's like almost 3,000 men right there. And then a brigade, there was 2 of those there. So yeah, we're like giving away American intel. Oh, Zach just left.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about China and like military stuff.
So I legitimately want this game to happen, because when I was going through school, there was a game called PlanetSide 2 where you picked a faction, and there was 3 factions. Have you played it?
PlanetSide 2 is cool, and it's free to play. # not sponsored by PlanetSide 2.
I don't know if they still do it anymore, but man, I used to play Banu.
They do. They released a huge update like earlier this year that like, PlanetSide 2 is cool, but I had a trash computer to play it. So,
anyway, I think it would be really cool to have like the nation that you're playing from is your team, and you get your military rank based on how much you're playing and how many kills you get and blah, blah, blah. And you're just running around completing missions, having firefights. And it would be kind of like WoW meets Modern Warfare.
Yeah, so Caleb, PlanetSide 2 is this like online computer game where it's like 3 military factions are like fighting over this like planet, like this like world, you know? And it's a consistent battle on the servers, like at all times. Like it's not matches; it's just the battles going on the whole time. And like the whole map is split up into like areas that are like pretty large size for like a video game, right? So basically, at all times, there's just this like ever moving front of like people capturing territories, but like there's like all sorts of tanks.
It's a huge game of capture the flag with weapons,
basically. Yeah,
cool.
And they've got like planes and
PlanetSide.
PlanetSide, one word. PlanetSide 2.
Okay.
I know they did close one down. Like you can't go to the servers anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's cool, but it's kind of pay to win, and it's kind of like you need a good computer to run it, or otherwise your computer just.
So not mine is what you're saying. so we got Zach here. Actually, I only read like half of that conversation in the group chat. That's typical Caleb though, shooting his mouth off on something when he only knows half of it. What is going on with Gun Girl, with Kent State Gun Girl?
Besides the fact she shit her pants, girl.
Yeah, the fact that she shit her pants.
So there was this girl who is a food slave.
Food slave.
There's a waitress in Dallas who posted.
Caleb, you might want to move your camera a little.
Or actually hit the setting where it stacks us differently on the control panel.
Oh, like I'd be on top.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool shit.
Oh, it didn't do anything for me.
Much better.
Oh well.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
I can see it though.
Oh, there it goes.
Hey.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, we're good.
Look at that awesome drunken disorderly background. Anyway,
that's your way of plugging your fucking show.
He did it on purpose.
No, I'm just kind of a pain in the ass to come in and switch it in and out all the time, but I'm just lazy.
Right.
So anyway, shitter pants girl.
Yeah.
So the waitress posted on Instagram, like, I just had that fucking blah 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 Caitlin Bennett on at my tables. So I I didn't do anything, but I'm literally shaking right now. Blah blah.
Literally shaking.
I don't have the courage to follow through with my convictions, but I'm gonna shit talk you behind your back, kind of a thing.
On the internet, yeah.
Yeah. And then because Caitlin Bennett loves running through social media and finding her name and then outing people, she tagged this girl's job and just went off on this long rant about it. The girl got fired, and all those thirsty fucking Republicans that hang out with Liberty Hangout are just drooling on her ball sack about how awesome it was that they got someone fired.
Yeah.
It's fucking here's dude.
No, don't get me wrong. I think that calling someone's job is over a social media post is one of the most bitch ass things you can do.
I think everyone in this scenario was a bit of a bitch ass.
Absolutely, because but on the flip side, anyone who's ever worked customer service, if we fucking mention a customer by name in a social media rant, we lose our job too. So and
I am not in any way negative on the company firing that girl.
Yeah, 100%.
Nor do I think what she did was right or smart. Mm-hmm. I just think it's really shitty when someone with a platform gets someone else fired because they
right. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
She has a pattern of behavior. This is not the first time she's done this shit.
Yeah,
right. Like when she dressed in the Indian headdress and said "Happy Columbus Day."
That's a whole nother level of stupid. Fuck her. She is.
Yeah.
Look, I don't. I'm not PC, but there's not being PC, and then there's being a fucking asshole because you can.
Well, you can, believe me, I understand about not being PC just as well as anybody, but you're just trying to be inflammatory and trying to piss people off.
Yeah, there's
no art to that.
There's a difference, and we kind of know this from telling comedy jokes and everything, right? Like, there's a difference between telling a race joke and being being racist. There's a really, really, really fine line between the two.
Right. Like if you hopped up on a mic and you said something like, "Bro, I was in Germany last weekend and they got so many big ass apartment buildings because those Germans and how they stack people in buildings together," versus coming out and saying it's time to exterminate the Jews. Those are the two different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I don't know. That was just what came to mind.
For me, I tend to make fun of my own race because it's more amusing.
Yeah,
the Irish,
Scottish, but
same thing.
That one's the Council Bluffs of Europe.
Look, the thing is, I can't even say you're wrong. That's what sucks. I'm very proud of my people, but I also understand that I am not very Celtic because I think through things rationally, and I'm not fucking white trash. And
the modern Celtic castle, the trailer home.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say you're wrong.
Whoa. Hold up, though. On the flip side, Dallas is fucking obliterating the Eagles right now.
Well, really? I haven't even paid attention. I actually
14-0.
Oh,
6 minutes left in the first quarter. First quarter
rating. That's pretty. That's not that crazy. That's happened before in the NFL.
I just like to be sensationalist.
Yeah.
Get you guys riled up.
Eagles.
I mean, I'm just saying we got those great refs again. Fucking giving an unnecessary roughness penalty. I bet that was fucking bullshit.
Dude, refs
do you have Cleve Blakeman?
Refs never call unnecessary roughness on Carson Wentz, man. I've seen like 2 calls for it. It's not like he's like Aaron Rodgers or something like that.
So I think what you're seeing with the NFL right now is an overcorrection. Because they were told, hey, stop throwing flags, you're throwing too many, and now they're not throwing flags on shit that's actually just egregious.
I think it's the difference in crews. I think there's just different ref crews that aren't on the same page. Like they put out like a general rule to all the ref crews, and like all of them just kind of like, think of it differently and everything.
Yeah.
And they're also
Can someone explain the Detroit Lions to me this season? Like, what the fuck are
Matt
they?
Patricia's their coach, so there's no consistency to it, just like when he was in New England.
Okay.
And then when they played Green Bay, obviously the refs are going to just, make sure Green Bay.
They got to help her.
42 points to Minnesota. Like, Minnesota's not a high-powered offense, are they?
Their offense is clicking.
Yeah, they're not a bad offense for sure.
I mean, they're 5-2. They're a legit contender.
They have like one of the best defenses in the NFL, too.
Minnesota was really struggling a couple weeks ago, and there was all this beef between the quarterback and receivers. And then the Eagles just scored out of nowhere. Fucking Kirk Cousins and Stephon Diggs just hooked up for like 3 50-yard touchdowns.
That's how they beat us because our corners are sucking so bad, and like they just had Stephon Diggs run like an out route, and they just like ran down the field, outran our corner, and just touchdown.
So you're saying that it's a really good thing that we got Cooper back for this game?
Probably, yeah.
I played against him in fantasy. What's that?
Here's a question, a bigger question. So Ohio State jumped Clemson in the AP poll.
Are they number 1 now?
They should be. They should be number 1.
It's Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma, and then Peto State.
Ohio State should be number 1 for real.
so let's be honest. There's 6 teams who are undefeated in the top 10. The next undefeated team is Baylor, and then SMU. Minnesota. Right. There's undefeated teams below there, but no like serious ones. Other than Appalachian State.
Right.
They will beat you on your home field because fuck them. That's why.
That's right. You can't
Boise State is that small school that always they every once in a while just have like a bomb ass team that would do.
Appalachian State came up later than Boise. That's why we haven't heard of them as much. But dude, when they were AA, they were kicking people's asses, like when they did it to Michigan and ruined their whole fucking season.
Oh, I remember that blocked field goal.
That was not an aberration. They do that shit. Now that they're up in the top tier and they're the best team in their division.
They'd be that team this year that if there was an NCAA game for this year's season, you would only pick that team if you knew a lot about NCAA football and would just dominate people at parties. They'd be like, what the fuck, Boise State?
So do you know the history of why Appalachian State is as good as they are and can compete the way they do? So years ago, this is 10, 15 years ago, the SEC teams like Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, Tennessee, Florida, the premier SEC teams 10 years ago, they were over recruiting. So they were recruiting 3- and 4-star players with scholarships that didn't have room for. And then at the end of the training camp, they'd say, yeah, we don't have room for you. You can walk on and pay for school, or you can transfer. So they would transfer to 1AA schools because they'd have immediate eligibility. Appalachian State took a huge amount of those players. So there were a fuck ton of 3- and 4-star talent, like guys that would start on, NC State type teams, Bowling Green, and they were all playing for Appalachian State. So they got fucking loaded with talent. So that's actually the history. And there were a couple other teams.
They've built a tradition of skill. So now that they actually are just attractive to recruits.
Yeah, now they can actually recruit. Now they're D1 and everything, so it's completely different. But yeah, so it was a huge recruiting scandal.
What conference takes them first? Like what major conference?
Are they independent right now?
I believe. You brought me on here just so I can fact check for you.
Yes. You are not wrong.
I think they are independent because I think they just moved up like last year.
No, they've been up for a few years.
Oh, have they?
Sunbelt. Yeah, that's a shit league. They're going to win that league without thinking about it. The only other decent team there consistently is Troy. And they're down right now. But I think Troy kind of did the same thing. Is they would get a bunch of Alabama cast-offs and a few cast-offs, and that's how they stay consistently competitive. But so,
East State.
Yeah, Appalachian State is in the Sun Belt now. Which major conference picks them up? Because there's geographically 3 that really could and really bolster themselves doing it.
I didn't realize the Army
was ACC doing it.
I didn't realize the Army team was technically in the Sun Belt. Are they?
No, Army's independent. They play Georgia State, who's a Sun Belt team this week. So that's probably why you're seeing that.
Probably, yeah.
Army's independent, but I could see the ACC taking them because the ACC is pretty much just Clemson at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so here's the play. If you're the ACC, you take Clemson and you take which Florida is it that Frost came from? Is
UCF.
UCF.
Yeah. So you take Central Florida and you take Appalachian State and give them 3 years to acclimatize to the higher league, and they'll probably be mid-level bowl teams for you every year after that.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's another one that could take Appalachian State, though, is that AAC league. They're starting to develop, pick up where the Mountain West left off, where it kind of fell apart, because they've got UCF, they've got Navy, they've got Cincinnati. I mean, none of those teams are world beaters, but they're all up and coming. So I could see them trying to stick through with it.
If let's say the AAC takes Appalachian State instead.
Yeah,
I think so. Look, their West division sucks. It has one good team.
Yeah.
Check that. Navy is actually a good team. I just hate to admit it. The rest of their teams aren't actually very good, even if they have good records right now. Tulane is 5-2. Even Nebraska would crush Tulane. Let's be honest.
Right.
But on the other side, you do have Cincinnati and UCF, and they're both very good teams, and they're consistently very good teams. And
SMU's another
Florida is a bowl threat every time.
Not this. South Florida's terrible this year, but SMU is actually pretty good.
Right. Well, okay. So this year South Florida's down, but they're always a bowl threat. They're 3-4 with enough weak teams in their division. They'll get bowl eligible and go.
I don't pay attention to the smaller conferences enough in the NCAA, so
I think the smaller conferences are more fun.
That conference is actually really interesting because every team in there, you've got Houston, Memphis, Tulane, UCF. Their offenses are just fucking run and gun. They put up stupid numbers every week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the thing that sucks is that they never get considered for the NCAA playoffs. So
here's the thing.
UCF.
If I were that league, I would drop Connecticut. Well, no, you can't drop Connecticut Union for basketball.
No, they're in the Big East in basketball. The Big East is basketball only. So
they look.
I think the AAC. Yeah, I think the AAC is actually only for football. I don't know if they have a basket. If they do, it's not really relevant. But yeah, Connecticut's Big East with Creighton, and the Big East basketball is actually really stacked. Let me see here.
Yeah. Oh, yep, they are. You're right. I thought, for whatever reason, I thought Connecticut was one of the teams that wasn't anymore.
No. Yeah, the AAC does have a Oh no, they moved to basketball. Connecticut moved over there. Huh.
Oh, did they? So they're not. They're not in. Okay.
So no, Big East, you have Creighton, Seton Hall, DePaul, St. John's, Georgetown, Villanova, Marquette, Xavier, Butler, and Providence, which is still a stacked conference.
Yeah, that's like 5 tournament teams every time.
At least. Yeah, at least. So.
Yes, NCAA basketball, another thing that I don't really know anything about.
So here's why, because UConn left this year.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought it was
They'll be joining the Big East next year.
Oh, okay. So they'll be going back. Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is good for the conference because that means you have 6 teams every season.
Yeah.
Because UConn's always good for a 5 seed.
I think Nebraska they'll be interesting. I don't think they're going to be any good this year, but Fred Hoiberg is. I mean, if you're going to pick a college coach to build around, you can't get a better resume. Yeah, college success, was in the pros. He's still relatively young. Like, come on. I think that's the best hire. I honestly would. I would go as far to say Fred Hoiberg was a better hire than Scott Frost for Nebraska. So,
yeah, Frost felt better, but yeah. So I have to bail. You guys do your thing. Have fun.
Yeah, we're gonna close it out. Do you want to plug anything before you go?
The 5th of November, Drunken Disorderly is going to be doing a election night special where we're going to live stream basically all night. And Caleb's already volunteered to jump in and host. I haven't talked to Nick yet because this idea just happened.
Yeah.
But I want Nick to jump in and help host because that's going to be like 3 or 4 hours of streaming.
What elections are going on the 5th?
It's local stuff. It's going to be like city councils and shit.
Oh, okay.
But that's
cool.
Like, I'm a libertarian. That's what my show does, is libertarian politics. So
right,
it's gonna. What's up?
Is Matt Molly gonna pop on?
Oh no, we want people who can win a city council race against a.
He can talk about how to lose city council elections to write-in candidates.
Yeah. Isn't like Dre running for city council or something?
No, she's not.
She's not running for anything, Caleb.
I didn't say she was.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah, all right. Peace out, bro. Have a good night. All right. Let's close this shit out, bro. What do you say?
You got the drunken disorderly background here. Heck yeah.
Fuck me sideways. Get that free fucking advertisement off of there. Now you're being blocked by this text on screen. Anyway, so sorry guys that the screen dropped out there. Shitty computer. Sorry.
We're gonna edit it. It's gonna be edited.
I don't know. It really wasn't that long. People can bump that little jump forward 30-second thing and be fine.
It was kind of long, man.
It probably felt long because you're like, fuck, I have to sit here and play with my dick for 15 seconds.
I do that on camera on a different channel. So
he gets paid. He's a cam girl. He's getting follow Nick's premium Snapchat.
There's good money in it. Don't knock it till you try it. Right?
Facebook. See, that's who our next guest needs to be because that shit interests me. Not from like a sexual perspective. Like I think there's millions of free porn videos on the internet. Why do people pay to see these premium Snapchats for one girl? That's who we need.
I think it's an emotional thing.
Like an emotional attachment because they can't.
Yeah, they're like, I like this girl. She talks to me. Oh, there's her butthole.
So is it like seeing like having a favorite NFL team? You just have like this attachment to it.
It'd be like if your favorite NFL team could show you its butthole. Which I guess the Miami Dolphins kind of do.
The Miami Dolphins do that. The Bengals, they do that on a weekly basis, man.
Yeah. My cat wants to make a promo tonight. So
that's a good one. Yeah, see, my dog thanks him sometimes too. But anyway, no, I think we should try and find someone who does like
like a cam girl or something like that, or like one of those Pornhub independent porn stars.
Interesting interview.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be kind of cool.
So, like, I don't want her to come on here and show her tits or show us her tits. Like, I just want to see, like,
she can if she wants to, but
that'll get us banned from YouTube, bro.
And she doesn't have to do it on camera or like recorded.
Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, I just want to see like the psychology behind it. Like, what kind of dudes are into this shit? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just like to have people that interest me on here. So. But yeah, we've got tomorrow, technically, not when this is released, but tomorrow we'll be shooting with Howie Hawkins, the
that's gonna be cool.
Leading Green Party presidential candidate. So that'll be fun. And then we've got Zuby coming on. Who else have I got?
We'll talk more about Zuby on the midweek episode that we do. Yeah. So tune into our podcast just off of YouTube if you're only a YouTube listener for that.
It had been a minute without guests, and we kind of became like the parents who their kids go off to college and they can't stand being alone with each other. So
Philadelphia just got the ball back too. So
nice. All right. Make sure y'all like us on Facebook, Bread and Circuses by Big Bill Media. Follow on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, wherever the fuck you bitches listen to your podcasts at, wherever you get your fix. Go on there, subscribe to us. And do we have
Caleb
anything else?
Calls you bitches, but he loves you guys. So.
That's right. Well, to quote DMX, love my you know what's, but where's my bitches? Okay, so that was the whitest DMX quote I've ever heard. December 7th.
The whitest DMX. Yeah.
December 7th. I don't know if you're on this or not, Nick. I don't know if you messaged Scott back, but Wired.
No, we need to talk more about that before we start making plugs about it. So, because we got to figure out the specifics, but we're going to be doing a comedy show in December.
They declared the event. Wired Pub, December 7th. I'll be there for sure.
I'm going to be there. I just haven't had a chance to talk to him about it.
Yeah, so there'll be music, performances from Ghost Whale for sure. Myself, Nick. I don't know who the other comics are going to be there. It might
maybe
be
we can get Nicholas from over in Lincoln for that. I bet he'd do it again. Nico, yeah.
Yeah. If not, I've got a couple guys that slam dunks. These guys they're young, they're energetic, they're funny as fuck. I'm going to pull them out. They're like me. They'll take any show they can get. So
we'll post the videos like when we do comedy shows. We'll post them on the Facebook page. So it's another reason to like the Facebook page.
Yeah,
so.
And we'll probably upload it to YouTube too. So. I think that special actually. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to plug. That special is going to be dropping soon. We're going to put it behind a paywall. So basically, how it goes is I don't want to quote you guys the wrong rate and give it, but it's not going to be that expensive.
Like a couple bucks. It's nothing that's going to break the wallet or anything.
No, so you get all what I'm pretty sure, and again, I don't want to go into specifics, but I'm pretty sure you get all of us for that one price. So, and it was a fucking good special. We had a lot of good comics out there.
Yeah, it was a fun hour for sure.
Make sure to check us out. We will be shooting a special at Wired too, so that'll be interesting. Where it's going to be another one that's recorded. So I'm probably going to have to come up with like another 15, 20 minutes of material.
Probably.
Pray for me. So, all right. Peace out, punk bitches. We got to get going.
Deuces. See ya.
Okay, so tomorrow, do you just want to head over after work for that, or how do you want to do it?
Yes, I'll just come over after work.
Okay, cool. All right, bet.
Cool.
Because it's 7:00. Because I'll probably miss the first half of the Patriots game, but whatever.
I will probably do the comedy thing on Tuesday as well because I do need to get back in there. I've been taking a couple, like almost a month off, and I've been like only 3 weeks, so I do need to get back into it. I've got material to do, so.
I've been struggling lately, like at open mics, because work was just kicking my ass, and I make myself go. You gotta push through the bad slumps with that kind of thing. So like I was making myself go, and I just was in a shit attitude, and I'm hoping that now I'm finally in a better one, so I'll have some. But no, I was in a good mood on Saturday, and it fucking killed. So
it's good. That's
You're seriously, dude. Your fucking mood is like the most important thing in comedy. If you have bad energy, I don't want to sound all hippie with it, but if you've got bad energy going into the show, it's fucking. You might as well just go home. So all right, now we're actually leaving.
Later.
See y'all later. Love you guys.